My name is Tessa Schultz, and I'm doing my informative speech. And here is my audience. Could you imagine waking up face to face with a calf, or being called to breakfast only to find a tall, warm glass of milk and blood? Could you imagine living in a house made out of mud and cow manure? For the primitive Maasai, this is a common scenario that happens every single day. The Maasai people who reside around the Rift Valley of Kenya and Tanzania have become famous for their long-sustained traditions that have made them the symbol of Kenyan culture. Unlike any other tribe in Kenya or Africa, the Maasai people place great emphasis on cattle and even use it as a type of currency. Jen Link, the author of Blue Gecko, mentions that their god Unga ordained them the right to all the cattle on earth. And as a result, cattle still continues to play an important part in their ceremonial events today. Families also seek to increase their numbers of cattle in order to signify their wealth. Although the Maasai people aim to increase their number of herds, they do trade cattle in for clothing, milk, other livestock, and even wives. They place such great emphasis on cattle that when September 11 occurred, they brought 11 cows to the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi as a gift. Because goats, cows, and sheep play an important part in their culture, they have adopted a nomadic lifestyle that leads them to follow rain patterns in search for food and water for their herds. Because they're in constant search of food and water, they build semi-permanent houses called kraals. These kraals are oval-shaped and are built out of mud, sticks, grass, and cow manure. In order to protect their families from lions and other predators, they form bomas, which are strands of acacia thorns that surround their house. The women are mostly responsible for building these houses, as well as collecting water and preparing food for their family. The men, on the other hand, are responsible for herding the cattle and searching for food. Warriors are ultimately responsible for protecting the livestock and are required to learn the ceremonies and traditions of the Maasai people. The greatest source of pride for the Maasai people are their warriors, who are trained by their fathers from boyhood all the way to adulthood. According to Rose, the founder of Kenya Information website, to be born a Maasai is to be born into one of the world's last great warrior cultures. One of the rituals that the warriors have to perform is called the leaping dance. Each man, wearing one of these Maasai robes of bright colors, are to leap into the air as high as they can in order to show their strength and agility. The warrior who can jump the highest is most likely to attract the women, are most likely to attract their women. Once the warriors reach adulthood, they undergo a graduation ceremony called a unodo. Only once they undergo this ceremony are they then able to settle down and start a family. As each warrior starts his family, he passes along the traditions and the ceremonies of the Maasai people to their offspring. Because the Maasai people have passed along their culture By oral communication for many generations, they are still able to practice the same rituals today as they did when they first originated. They are known mostly for their multiple herds of cattle, their nomadic lifestyle, and their remarkable warriors. While we like to start the day off with a cup of coffee, the Maasai have been accustomed to start the day off with a cup of milk and blood. So although these traditions seem primitive, to them, these are daily routines that they go through all the time. So the next time you think about pouring yourself a cup of coffee in the morning, just think that the Maasai people in Kenya prefer milk and blood instead. Thank you. Here's my audience.